Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to Daily's 2A News. Today I want to address kind of a comment, or maybe it's actually a question that I get from my friends in California all the time, and that is, what can California possibly do next? They've done just about everything they can in terms of gun control. What's left? Well, let's talk about what's left.
This channel is proud to be supported by the USCCA. The U.S. Concealed Carry Association helps responsible Americans like you prepare for what happens before, during, and after an act of lawful self-defense. USCCA members get life-saving education, expert training, plus defense liability insurance. These benefits provide more than 500,000 USCCA members with the peace of mind that they deserve. Plus, a USCCA membership is always risk-free with their 100% money-back, bulletproof guarantee. Membership is truly an investment worth exploring. Click the most important link you might click ever down below and activate your U.S. Concealed Carry Association membership now.
Now, when it comes to the left, you want to try and remember something. Gun control is a staple of their platform. They want their name on something, no matter how ridiculous it is, no matter whether it actually stops crime or prevents crime or not, or if it hurts the good law-abiding citizen. As long as they have their name on something that restricts your Second Amendment rights, they can go back to their constituents that probably voted for them for that particular reason and say, hey, look, I did something. That's one thing that they always like to say, right? We need to do something. And so they want to get their name on that something no matter how bad it is. And in California, there's been a lot of somethings. There's been a lot of bills that have gone through, and it's already so extreme. They have background checks, universal background checks, you have 10-day waiting periods, you have mag capacity restrictions, you have now rationing one every 30 days. You have all of these things that already exist in California, which, causes people to say, what else could they possibly do? What else could you possibly do to restrict our Second Amendment rights other than just come and try and take them, right? That's kind of where California's at right now. Well, what I've learned after kind of researching what California has planned and what they have coming up, bills that have been introduced, whether they passed or failed, it seems like now what they're doing, since they've got pretty much everything that they wanted done, other than actually just banning them outright, is instead of going after the what, so the actual product or the item, they're going after the where. So they're going after where you can get these things. Now, in most cases, a lot of different things in California can't even be shipped to your house. They have to be shipped to an FFL where you go do your paperwork, you pay a fee, do a background check, sometimes a waiting period, and then you can pick up your item. So there are a lot of things that already can't be shipped to your home, but for other things, you're going to have to drive to the FFL anyway, right? They want to restrict, and there's already been legislation, even at the city level, to try and restrict this, but where FFLs can be located. So they want to rezone things where there might be housing or schools or federal buildings or community buildings, whatever the case is. They want to restrict having FFLs in those areas, which would force people to drive even further to the nearest FFL. For instance, if you live in San Francisco, you're pretty much hosed. You're going to have to probably drive out of the city of San Francisco itself in order to find an FFL. So they want to rezone things to force some FFLs out of business altogether. They want to force you to have to drive further, hoping that some people will just say, forget it, I just don't want to drive that far, and they're just going to abandon it altogether. And so they're looking for those things now. Instead of the actual item, they're going after the places where you can get those items. Now, another thing that they're trying to do is they're trying to take away places where shows exist. So you want to go get something at a show, you want to go get something where you can kind of browse and see all the different vendors and, meet people and kind of hang out with people that have the same mindset as you. They don't want that done on state property anymore. And so they've introduced a bill to try and stop that as well. So they don't want it on state property, and most, cities are trying to do the same thing. They don't want it on any type of city or government property at all. They want to try and push it to private venues, knowing that private venues typically are smaller with less parking, and, a lot of private venues just don't want to deal with it altogether, so they're not going to accept stuff like that. And they're going to go after those things. So it's going to be where you can get stuff. I see, as California pushes forward, I see that that's where they're going to be going next. Again, they're going to, they've done a lot already as to the what you can get and how you can get it, but now they're going to be going after the where you can get it. Now, I did see an interesting statistic about California on T-Tag the other day, And it was basically talking about the support for the Second Amendment in the state and how it's slightly changing. Every year, support for the Second Amendment, it kind of dwindles in the state of California. For instance, the people that want more gun control in California was around 60% back in 2018. So 60% of the people that were polled thought that there should actually be more gun control. But now in 2021, there was a new poll, and this was done by the LA Times and UC Berkeley, definitely people that are not friendly to the Second Amendment. And support for the Second Amendment actually grew by 4%. So it's now 56% of the population that wants more gun control. That might not seem big to you, but you're not going to see like a 20% increase in support for the Second Amendment over 1 year or 2 years. You're just not going to see that. But even 4% is pretty big in a huge state like that with a lot of different people. So it seems like support might be changing. And we'll see how it goes from here, on out. Obviously, every year, whether or not it's legit or not, you do get a chance to put new people in office and, try and change things there. But it seems like support might be changing in favor of the Second Amendment in the state of California. But for all those people that say, what could California possibly do next? Just use your wildest imagination. If you can think it up, I guarantee they can think it up too. They probably already thought it up. As a matter of fact, they probably have a book and a list of things that they want to do in the future that they're going to release incrementally, because they know that if it goes through, even if it's unconstitutional or even if it burdens the law-abiding citizen, it's going to go to court. And that court process takes years. It takes a long time if it ever even makes it up to the Supreme Court. So they're just willing to take a gamble and, force people out of their Second Amendment rights for at least a time period. Even if they do lose in the end, they got a short amount of time where they were able to take your rights away and somebody got their name on a bill that they can wear like a badge of honor. So California will always find a way. The only way that anything is ever going to change in California is if the leadership changes. That's it. I don't see any other way that California changes unless the leadership of California changes, and it's a leadership that's more friendly to people's freedoms and liberties, and they're able to roll things back that have already been passed. So when people, and it happens all the time, say, what else could they possibly do? It's a lot. You really got to wrap your head around what these people want to do and what they can think of, because they have wild imaginations, and those imaginations apply to their legislation as well. It is ridiculous. So hopefully the people of California will wise up and see that you lose one liberty and you let them do that, it's very easy for them to take your next. So, stay strong over there. Hopefully things will change in the future. I really do appreciate you guys watching. Please like, subscribe, and have a great day.